Hey guys, how's it going? Um, Decided to play a little bit of Ace today. This is a new stage, Stage U. I actually really like the stage. There's a little bit of everything. There's some really open hoser targets, but then when you get to this popper over here and then the plate rack, um, you have to really throttle your vision and making sure that you're being patient on certain targets and then just hosing the rest. I've laid off playing Ace for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, just because I have a really bad case of tennis elbow or shooter's elbow in my support arm. And Ace has not helped it at all. It's really bad to the point that when I'm actually shooting my real gun and gripping it, I feel the pain in my elbow. It's tolerable, but again, I'm just trying to give it a rest. And I think laying off of Ace for a bit is probably going to do more than anything else. One of the things that I have mentioned that I struggle with I'm running the Quest 2, and for when I record, when I move my vision, when I move the headset, it really jitters. I don't know if it's really lag, but the picture there's like jitter in the picture. I'd love to hear from those running either Quest 2 or Quest 3 in the comments to let me know if this happens to you as well when you record. When I don't record, it completely goes away. So as soon as I turn off recording, that issue goes away and it's much easier to shoot. But it makes it a little difficult to shoot these stages and record at the same time. So that all said, let me get to shooting. So basically this stage, it's a nice little stage. You start in the middle. You don't really have to move much. Really just a step for me because I have longer legs. And you can either start in the middle. I've seen some videos posted. A lot of guys start in the middle. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Just because then you're transitioning here and then all the way over here. It's better just to flow across. And like I mentioned on one of my other videos, the goal in hit factor is to shoot to shoot as much as possible. Anytime you're not shooting and the time is just ticking away, you're losing points because remember, it's points divided by time. So it's average points per second, or not average points per second, it's points per second. So the more time you're shooting during a stage, the better your hit factor is going to be. So with that said, it makes most sense to start on one side and just flow right through. And that's pretty much how I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to shoot this guy first, this low boy, transition up here to the poppers, up here, down here, this one, here, 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 then to the plate rack, this guy, then this guy, then that guy. I may transition straight across these paper and then come back to the steel, just because transitioning down to this popper and then back up to this partial, it's just higher risk. I run the risk of just plugging that no shoot as I'm coming up if I'm not really disciplined with my vision and waiting until the dot is where I want it to be. So I'm not really going to push here. I'm just going to really focus on where I want the bullets to go on each target. And take it from there.
Stand by.
Okay, so that wasn't too bad. 199, hit factor 428. Pretty good points. This is a complete drag off right there. That right there, that Charlie is pure luck. I did not mean to hit that. Everything else was alphas, except for that Charlie over there. So this I was pretty happy with because one of these targets, my dot wasn't there and I was really patient on it and I didn't just shoot because I would have plugged the no shoot. So let's do that again.
Stand by.
Okay, so that was hit factor of 1559. I think I got all alphas. No, here I dragged off. So that Charlie there was dragging off. So I started moving my vision before I fired that second shot onto this plate. And I got lucky and I got a Charlie there. Same thing here. So you see the direction. And this is helpful here. But then in live fire as well, this is what I really love about ACE that you don't get in dry fire. So in live fire, when I see this, I can see, based on the pattern on the targets, I can see what my vision is doing. And you can see here exactly, I shot the first shot there, that alpha, and then I started to move my vision down to this target, to the plate, before I fired that second shot and I dragged off. So I need to be a little bit more visually patient. But that's exactly about, like, visually the pace that I would shoot this in a match. Just really focused on each, where I want the snapping my vision and focusing, being target focused and focusing to a spot on each target where I want the bullets to go. And just being patient and making sure that I'm seeing the proper amount of dot over that spot where I'm looking before I fire the shot. And again, here and there, where is it? There. Just being a little bit more patient, although on a stage like this, I would take this performance any day of the week. 2 Charlies, give me a break. All right, so let's go again.
Stand by.
All right. So I think that was 1 Charlie I'm calling. And I beat my highest score on that run. So hit factor of 1612, 1 Charlie. And this was just a slight over transition. So when I came from this target to there, I slightly transitioned a little bit too far. So imprecise. And I had to bring it back. But everything else was pretty solid right where I was looking on each target. Yeah, that was pretty good. So now I'm going to just try and push the visual speed a little bit and try and move my eyes a little bit sooner on each target.
Stand by.
So that was a train wreck. I think I had a mic there in the wood. Yep, 2 mics. So again, here, I had a couple of runs which were solid. I know what I can do. And all I'm doing now is just really just pushing and see when the wheels fall off. So let's do that again. And this is how you learn. This is how you get better. If you just keep practicing or shooting at the same pace where you're comfortable and you're getting all alphas or mostly alphas, you're not really going to get better because you're not training yourself or you're not learning to go faster and see what happens when you go faster. So let's go again.
Stand by.
No. So that was garbage. I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to waste any ammo. I'm just kidding. But let's go again. I'm not being visually patient on it. I'm just pushing like way too hard here. Let me go again.
Stand by.
Okay, so that was a little bit better, but still not really great. I got lucky on a couple shots, especially that one right there. I almost dragged off that target. So let's do that again. And again, I'm just going to try and push my vision. Ooh, that's weird. Look at that. That is counted as an alpha, but the target is still up. Oh, I need a calibration on that. calling for calibration on that. All right, let's go.
Stand by.
Okay, that was fast. I think that's my fastest time. That was 1080. So that's the fastest I've ever run it. But I had to, and it's funny because when I got to the plate rack, I'm like, oh man, this is going really well. And then that thought kind of intruded in my mind and I missed one of the plates. And that happens actually in a match setting. Things are going really well and you start to think about it and you're focusing on how well it's going and then you end up screwing up. So gotta make sure I work on that. So let me go one more time and then we'll call it.
Stand by.
That was bullshit. I can't end on that. All right, we'll go for sure this time.
Stand by.
God damn it. Okay. I think that's it. I don't want to make these videos too long, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here, kind of how I train, what I'm looking at, how I'm trying to push, and really it's all vision. So one of the things that I try not to do anymore is tell myself, let's go faster. I want to actually, how can I put this? I want to think about it from more of a process perspective. It's not just go faster. It's like, how can I increase the speed? How can I reduce the amount of time? And really that's what the way to look at it. It's not how do I go faster? It's how do I reduce the amount of time it takes me to shoot the stage? And on something like this, there's not a lot of movement. So there's no, like, I'm not reloading. So, and pretty much those things aren't going to save you a lot of time, to be honest with you. Where you're going to save time is on transitions, and it's all a matter of how do I shoot sooner on each target, and that's like visual, right? It's moving your vision and transitioning the gun and firing the shot as soon as possible on each target and moving away from that target as soon as possible. So those are the things that I kind of work on, and it's all vision speed. It's all snapping my vision and moving the gun as precisely as possible so that when it arrives, I just fire. I don't have to kind of clean the sight picture up because that just wastes time. All right, guys, hopefully you guys like these videos. If you do, let me know and I'll keep making more of them. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down below. And again, if you don't mind sharing what your experience is with recording on your Quest, whether it's a Quest 2 or Quest 3, and if you have any tips for me to try to improve recording in this jitter that I have the whole time that I'm shooting, I'd really appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys.